We did not stick that landing at all.
Oh man, I think it sounded great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Hey everyone out there, it's Milo here for the Fellowship of Acoustics and welcome to a new video. And it's my pleasure to welcome Mr. Joey Landreth and Derek Eastveld, both beautiful Canadian men, to the Fellowship of Acoustics.
I don't know about beautiful, but thank you. Thank you.
Both from Winnipeg, if I'm correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Yep.
All right, how's the Netherlands treating you so far?
Great. Yeah, can't complain.
Yeah.
We love the Dutch.
You do?
They're good people, good food, good drivers.
Yeah.
Good food. You said something about eating some Dutch delicacies.
Yeah,
today?
there's a small up and coming local chain called McDonald's.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
How nice of you to give them a little bit of a boost.
Yeah. Well, they're really onto something.
Yeah. That Big Mac that they were doing.
That sounds great.
It's going to be a hit.
Yeah, I think so. If only we could get it in Canada.
So nice that you're here.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about amplifiers,
Great.
some new releases. We're going to talk about beautiful Duesenberg guitars, and maybe a lot of other things. But maybe let's just start out with the Revv Amps, because Derek, you're the man, the Revv man here.
I'm one of them. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just wanted to start off with how you guys got to know each other, because I heard something about Joey, you using a generator. Was a 740 for your first solo album,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
So how did you guys start working together?
I don't remember exactly when we first met.
Let me tell you, it was a humid July evening where Joey was playing at the Dauphin Country Fest, the only festival featuring country music in Manitoba. No, the Brothers Landreth were playing a festival. I'd known Joey or known who you were for a long time. I remember you were coming in to play that festival with the bros.
Yeah.
And I had some amps there in backline because I work as a rigger and a stagehand at that show. And I asked you if you wanted to try it. And you plugged in and you're like, yeah, cool. Do you have a deluxe reverb? And that was how we...
I'm sorry.
That was how we met. And I honestly, how the real relationship started was you had a Strymon Mobius for sale on Facebook. Yeah. And I messaged you, and a road case for a 4x12 cabinet.
Yeah.
And I messaged you saying like, hey man, you want to do a package deal? I'll buy the Mobius, that, and I think a power supply. And you were like, sure. And you had played through the 740 as backline for real at Murray's CD release party.
Yeah.
And I think I think I had said like, yeah man, if you ever want to check anything out from us, be happy to bring down all of our amps for you to try.
Yeah.
And that's when you told me that you were working on whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it started. I came down to the studio that Joey was recording at. I brought, at the time we had 4 amps in our lineup, and I brought all 4 down, and you played through them, and yeah.
So what was it in the 740 that drew you to that sound? What did you find in it?
It was just such a perfect pedal platform. And I mean the clean channel on it sounds really, really beautiful. The noise floor is really low. Like it was just such an ideal recording amp. And we had earmarked a bunch of amplifiers for that session, and there were a few others that were used, but the 740 wound up being the one that we started every guitar tracking session with the 740 and basically laid virtually all the groundwork. And then I think there was like 1 or 2 solos on the record that we used something else for.
Another great local amp though. You used the Jason's, like the Wawa amps.
I don't think he's building anymore, unfortunately. But
also Winnipeg building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Winnipeg it's a cool spot because there's lots of art there, but it's quite far away from, like, it's really far away from, especially by European standards, but also by Canadian standards. It's quite far away from any other major markets.
Right.
So there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Like a lot of artisans, like just making their own stuff, building their own stuff, making their own records.
Maybe because they are isolated.
Yeah. Well, and it's like, if you live near Toronto and it's like an hour or 2 drive, you go to the city to make a record, where Winnipeg is like an hour or 2 outside of Winnipeg is nothing.
Yeah.
You know?
You're on a farm.
Yeah. Like the next place that we play is 5.5 hours away.
Right.
And we don't really play there that often. We play in the next town, which is 9 hours away. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's pretty far apart. So there are lots of really, really cool small boutique builders. I mean, Revv is obviously an exception to that because Revv is quite large by comparison. But anyway, all that to say, yeah, Derek brought a bunch of things down, and the 740 was something that I mean, I still use it. I still have that 740, and I still. Well, actually, I don't know if I have that 740, but I have a 740.
I have that 740.
Yeah. There you go.
And now today, so we ended up with a lot of Joey Landreth signature Revv amps. So how was that process? You played a lot of the 740, and how did you communicate about your needs, and how do you build an amp that fits those needs?
Derek wound up bringing by a different amp from their Dynamis series, and I played, you know, having known the Generator 740 and then playing the Dynamis, I wound up preferring the Dynamis. It was a killer amp, but it weighed about 1,000 kilos, and it was an absolute backbreaker because it was a combo.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, he had said, I want to build something that's small, portable, but has this kind of has the heartbeat of this amplifier. You know, give me some ideas. And so I gave him a few, like, it'd be cool if it did this, it'd be cool if it did that. And then he said, you know, what if it had an IR loader and a what's the word I'm looking for?
Load box.
A load box built in.
Right.
So that would be killer. Because at that time I was living in a small apartment in a high rise in Toronto, and so I was using a 2-notes torpedo to do any guitar recording at home, and so I was like, that would be killer. So yeah, it just kind of built from there, and lo and behold, and I didn't even know, but the feedback that I gave wound up turning into the D20, which is a really really great amp in Revv's lineup, and
of which we also saw just a new release together with the Joey Landreth, because there's also now a Mark II of the D20.
Yeah. So, like, we pride ourselves at Revv on listening to the market, whether it's session players or just what we see on, like, Rig Talk, Gear Talk, any of the Facebook forums or groups that we're part of. We see when customers say, like, oh yeah, really like the D20, but, you know, wish it had reverb, or doesn't have quite enough headroom. So, you know, when we see that about products, we kind of make notes of, like, okay, what are the main things that we keep seeing over and over again? And Dan, who's my partner at Revv and our designer, him and I will sit down and be like, okay, a lot of people are asking for this. When we did the D25 combo, because that was one of the big things, we abandoned combo amps with the Dynamis because it was, like at least 35 kilos. Yeah. So it was just too heavy. But when the D20 was a success, we had a lot of people saying, like, why can't we get a Dynamis combo? There used to be one. It sounds great. Why can't we get one? And we're like, okay. So we started work on the D25 combo. And we thought, okay, let's take all of the feedback that we saw about the D20. Let's build those features into the D25, because now we have a new product.
Yeah.
And let's just see how it's accepted by customers. And it was accepted right away. And Joey had been touring. He has an artist edition or signature edition 2-rock head that he had done. And for a long time, he's been using a 2-rock in a wet, dry, wet system where 2 of the amps were D20s in that system for a number of years.
A long time, yeah.
So then I had said to him, you had taken a couple combo amps out as the wet amps on one tour. And I said, hey, I'm like, could I get you to check out the new D25 and get your feedback on that? So I sent him over a D25, and you're like, yeah, it sounds great. You know, I would want to change things a little bit for it to be, you know, kind of usable for me on tour. Like, there was too much low end, a couple little things. So it was that conversation that I said, like, well, what if we try that? So we modded a D25 to get it to where you liked it. And then we just started talking about, like, well, what if we offer a Joey Landreth edition? Because there's going to be people, if they see you with them, that are going to go, well, that's not like what mine sounds like.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of how that all started for the D25 combo.
With this one? This is the D25.
Yeah. So
beautiful golden finish.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
That looks great.
Look how easy it was for you to lift that over there, too.
I'm just really strong.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. I mean, I can tell by the way you fill that sweater.
Thank you, man.
HR is calling right now. Yeah, sorry about that. I'll never say it again.
Anyway, maybe we can talk a little bit about those specs that you felt needed changing for your needs, because yeah, you play very low most of the time. In open tunings, maybe that has something to do with the low end that you need in an amp.
Yes and no. I mean, I think it's a pretty common misconception that I do tune low, but the frequencies that are occupied are still very similar. Like it's not, it's not like
you're a bass guitarist.
Yeah, exactly. Like it does add a little bit, but I mean, this guitar is an open E, so this is the same as standard, just actually raised up a little bit. And those changes I still really appreciate in this tuning as well. So, I come from a background as a working guitar player and a session guitar player. And one of the things you learn very, very early on is how to manage your bottom end. Yeah. And what sounds good when you're testing something out at the music store or you're playing at home is not whatever makes it on a record. It's not whatever comes out of the PA. It's always the mid-range. And basically any kind of bottom end information that you have that comes anywhere near the bass guitar or the kick drum or the floor tom gets filtered out. Right. So I'm fairly sensitive to that nowadays. And don't get me wrong, like it's not like these are devoid of any bottom end, but just where it starts is a slightly different place. And the resonant peak of the bottom end has been shifted a little bit, which also helps push the mid-range forward. And it seems to have had a bit of an effect on how the top end speaks as well. So it's not a drastic difference between the standard run D25 or D20 Mark II. No. But it's just a slight shift. And I think if you're the kind of player you play in a similar way that I do, I think you would appreciate it. Yeah. So, I mean, and you can still get plenty of bottom end out of both of these amps if you push the low end. And I still wind up cutting a little bit anyway, which is a good sign. So it's not like you're never going to plug into it and go, oh, wow, that has absolutely no thump to it. Yeah. But it's just revoiced to be a little more suitable and it probably has more to do with the genre of music that I play too. So it's a little more suitable for that style of guitar playing. And
that also has to do with the speaker, right? Because the speaker does a lot of the work around the bottom end and the mid range, I think.
Yeah, and the D25 ships with a vintage 30. And yours ships with a creamback. So that's the other thing. If we had put a creamback in the D25, it already had, like, to me, it has more low end than I find the V30s to have a little more like upper mids and be a little bit more brittle. The creambacks, the lower, like I'd say the lower mid range and even a little bit more bottom end content. Like it's, but it sounds a little smoother to me. The creamback does.
Yeah. Which also helps. I mean, playing slide guitar, you get a lot of noise, and so it kind of helps to soften some of those things as well. So
yeah, that I understand, because those are some specifics for your slide playing that you're looking for in other amps as well.
So with the changes that we made in like the Joey Landreth D25 and to the original D25, it was kind of the things that, like I said, customers had asked for in the D20. So, Dan and I at Revv started talking about, okay, maybe we should consider doing, a Mark II version. Our Generator series amps are on the Mark III version right now. So we were like, okay, maybe it's time to upgrade. Of course, immediately when we released the D25 JL edition, the comments started coming in saying like, okay, but will it be available in a head version? Because no matter what we build at Revv, the market will inevitably ask for the other version.
There's a constant evolution of ideas, right? Yeah.
So that kind of triggered the like, okay, let's take some of those ideas. Let's start looking at a D20 Mark II. So Dan worked his magic and brought in a D20 Mark II. I called Joey because since the beginning, anything that I think suits Joey's playing style at all, I have him come in and beta test everything for us to get his opinion on it. Yeah. So when you came in to test the D20, right away you were like, so the voicing changes on my D25. Like, what would this sound like if we did that? And we both were like, it would sound like the D20 Joey Landreth edition. So probably a good idea to do. So that's kind of how all of that happened. Because, again, the D20 amplifier, the original one, a lot of it was a lot of his input that formed what that amp actually turned out to be. Yeah. So
And both of these, they are also marketed as great pedal platform amps, right? Because Joey, you use a lot of pedals. You're famous for using a lot of pedals, fuzz pedals, drive pedals.
Yep.
And what I'm interested in, for better or worse, what I'm interested in, because I don't know anything about amp building. I heard you maybe build some amps as well.
Nowhere near to this degree, but a little
More
bit.
of a hobbyist, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about it. But how do you go about designing an amp or building an amp that is a good pedal platform? What is a good pedal platform?
I am probably not the best person to ask this because I don't design our circuits. But to me, what makes a good pedal platform is a really great clean channel that doesn't fall apart when you start putting pedals into it, right? So like it has to handle signal coming into it at a decent kind of strength. I like there to be probably more low end than what you would like, but I want it to be kind of flat, but still like a little bit squishy, right? Like I don't want it to be stiff and sterile.
No.
But you don't want to have something that it has so much compression early on that it swallows up what a pedal is doing.
Yeah.
And that's, things like, I've got a JTM 45 clone, which has a tube rectifier and is very squishy. Sounds incredible, but you put a pedal into it and it just kind of disappears into the flubbiness of it.
Yeah.
So, but also if you have something that's really, really stiff and, the transients are very fast and it doesn't have a lot of sort of a compression up front, then it can come across too sterile. So it's like kind of a combination between getting that front end compression right so that, what the pedal is doing is shining, but ultimately certain amps will make a pedal sound better than the other. So it's a very delicate balance, but these things handle pedals really, really well.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of players who do what I do using backline amps, we get deluxe reverb reissues,
standard, right?
and it's not a very good pedal platform. When you get it to a volume where it really sounds good, it does kind of fall apart a little bit. So it's they're great when you've got the space to turn them up, but for taking pedals, it's not ideal. They're not the worst by any stretch, but
like to give you an idea, like I have, so I run my amp kind of edge of breakup.
Yeah.
So there's a boost on this amp. I have it engaged, but like just if I hit it pretty hard, you're gonna get a little bit of bark, but like my delay.
So there's still some glassiness when you pick softer, right? Yeah.
But like if I want to do like some kind of crunch tones, one thing about our amps is there's a lot of like articulation on all of the strings. So like you're going to hear kind of everything, which is, before Revv, I mainly played Mesa Boogies for high gain stuff. And that was always one of my complaints, is that sounded great, felt really gratifying, but a lot of stuff would disappear.
Yeah.
But even high gain, like I have our G3 pedal on my board, like
there's definition there, right? Yeah.
And like it's a little 20-watt amp, but it handles that, and that does sound like a fairly accurate representation of the generator. Like I can tell the difference, obviously, between it and a 120-watt generator like 120. But I mean, for touring, I would favor having a small package like this that would work really well.
And I would also like to hear a little bit more from your amp. Maybe you can play some more. Maybe give us a little bit of a demo of the JL.
Yeah. So that's kind of my starting point. Clean. Maybe a little bit higher in the gain department than Derek's. But again, if you lighten up, it's also got a little bit of that sort of sparkle. got lots of room to hit it with something.
Man, that sounds sounds mega.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's but that's what I mean. Like it's got enough squish that it's complementary, but it still lets the pedal do its thing. And
yeah.
So, and it's important to me. Like touch sensitivity is really, really important, and being able to, manipulate the sound with just my hands or just the volume knob on the guitar is really, really important. And that's kind of a prerequisite for anything that I'm playing. I found a lot of circuits that I really, really like, but if it doesn't respond properly to what's happening here, then I have a hard time kind of getting around it.
Yeah, I understand. And on the stage, because you're using those amps on the stage right now, do you use mics? Do you use the virtual cabs? How do you?
We use the virtual cabs sometimes. I will always use a real speaker whenever given the opportunity.
Right.
And there have been certain instances where it just makes way more sense to use it. I think it's great technology, and I think it sounds really good. But just call me old-fashioned. I'll take a speaker and a microphone.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have used the torpedo technology a ton, especially when we were doing tours on in-ears, and we're using house equipment, but we're bringing our own in-ear package. Like you would get a bad cable or a 57 that doesn't sound very good or whatever. Or the house doesn't have a very good microphone package, and it would ruin your in-ear mix.
Yeah.
Whereas it's the same thing night after night after night after night. That's a good example where I will use them, even if we're firing real speakers. I would drive my in-ears with
because you can also use it as a combination, right? Just to
certainly
mix
could
both. Yeah.
Certainly could.
Yeah.
Could you touch a little bit about on the virtual the IRs in there, because it's quite it's an original and very modern design that maybe a lot of people that are watching our channel maybe haven't heard from, because you get a real tube amplifier with that modern technology built into it.
Yep. So the Tuno's torpedo embedded tech is different than a lot of the other IR loading tech, because they use what are called dyne IRs, and it's for dynamic impulse response. So within their torpedo remote software, they have, I think, probably between 400 and 500 different speaker cabinets that you can choose from. Now, you only get, I don't know how many, a dozen of them or 10 of them free with the amp, but you can audition other ones if you want to try them. Now, what makes their system different than most other static IRs is that when we capture them, we use 8 different microphones and we move them around the room. So you actually get the ability within the software to move the microphones around. Yeah. You can add EQing, you can add compression. They have some fantastic sounding room reverbs that you can add. So there's a lot that you can do with their software and kind of create your own dyne IR, or your own preset of a dyne IR, I should say.
Yeah.
So in the Revv stuff, there's a 6-way selector on the front, and all of those impulsors or impulse responses, or virtual cabinets is what we call them. They are presets that Sean Tubbs helped design for us, and they are of our cabinet. So 1 and 2 are a 4x12 without reverb and then with reverb, and then 3 and 4 are 212 without and then with, and then our 112 without and with. So, but you can load any third-party IR that you have. You can make your own IRs and load them. So there's a ton of options. Yeah.
I think it's really nice that you have a front dial. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
And that you get 6 opportunities that you have selected. I think that's really great. Not only give the world of possibilities, but also just say, this is what we like. This is what we prefer with our amps, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'm the opposite of Joey, because I don't play out a whole lot anymore. Most of when I play is honestly on the podcast that Joey and I do, or Revv does a live stream, and that is almost exclusively the direct out. Like, every now and then we'll mic up something, but there's a lot of times where we'll have the cabs live in the room, but the signal that is going to the interface and going to Pro Tools is the direct signal out of the amp. And yeah, it sounds fantastic, and it's a great workaround. Like, where Revv's building is, we're in like an industrial complex where next door is a mechanic. So every now and then we're shooting video, and then you hear from a compressor and impact.
What's an overdrive?
Yeah. So so in situations like that, it's a kind of a lifesaver that you're not like, shit, there goes the take on everything.
Or like Derek and I, you've got small kids at home, and you want to plug in a real amp. And I'm the one thing that I have, I love all the gear and technology, but the one thing that I have not quite embraced yet is the virtual amp. There's a part of me that just, I don't know if I'm old fashioned, but I just can't get into it. But I can wrap my head around a real amp with a cabinet simulation, because at least it feels right.
Yeah.
And so this is great, just sitting at home and don't want to wake anybody up, but you want to play or practice, or, for me, I don't know, I do a lot of recording also from home, so headphones straight out of the front of the amp or whatever. It's great. It's great for that too.
I think there are a lot of people like you that don't want to make the choice to go maybe Kemp or a Quad Cortex or any plugins.
Yeah.
That want an amp, but also want to have the modern technology and the ease of using it on the stage. I think it's really incredible design.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And maybe let's talk a little bit about the guitars that you're playing, because we are a guitar store. We have amps here, but most of the products here in our store are guitars. Both of you are holding a Duesenberg. Maybe let's start with the Joey signature. Can you talk a little bit about your
for sure
Joey's guitar?
Well, this is a one-off run, so this color is not available yet, but I think maybe next year. But the standard issue is that pink one over there. And so my brother and I have been friends with the Duesenberg guys for quite a long time. And during the pandemic, I was talking with one of the fellows from Duesenberg, and I had mentioned that I had to sell my Fullerton TV to pay the rent a few years before. And so they said, well, make a wish list and we'll send you some stuff to mess around with, while everybody's at home, during COVID. So I didn't have a bass in my home studio. I didn't have a bass. Well, I did, but it was a piece of junk. And so I said, I'd love to get one of your basses. So they sent me a bass and a guitar or two to mess around with. And my brother came over one day to do some recording, and then he stole my Duesenberg bass. So then I went back
That's what brothers do.
To not having a bass. And then it just turned into his main touring bass for a while. So we were in Germany. I think it was maybe sometime around 2019. No, what am I talking about? It was post-pandemic. So yeah, it would have been 22 or 23. And I had floated the idea. I was like, hey, Dave, Dave really loves this bass. He had two other basses at that time, and he was like, man, I wish there was some kind of combination between these two basses. And I'd been playing a gold top for a long time, and which I love, and it's still, my ride or die guitar. But I wanted something that did something completely different. I wanted something that filled in all the blanks of the sounds that, the sounds that we used on our records and the sounds that I was hearing in my head. And so I went to Duesenberg with the idea. I was like, hey, what if we did ZZ Top did like a Duesenberg collab, and they all had matching Duesenbergs. But wouldn't it be cool if we did a bass and a guitar, and could we combine the Star Player bass with the Motown bass and try to get some of these sounds together? And could I do a Paloma with some really weird pickups in it? And so the conversation started. And so the whole story behind this guitar was, like I mentioned, I wanted it to do everything else that my Les Paul wouldn't do, or my Les Paul style guitar.
Yeah.
And so the idea started with I kind of was like, I've never been the kind of guy that has a slide guitar. All my guitars are set up so that I can play either
do anything on it,
fretted or slide. And it's, for better or worse, that's just how I like things to be. So, but I was like, it would be cool if this was this is a slide guitar. So the neck pickup is inspired by Raitt, so it's a gold foil. The middle pickup is inspired by Bonnie Raitt, so that's a Strat pickup. And then the bridge pickup is inspired by Lowell George from Little Feat. So it's actually a humbucker where half of it is made out of a Tele pickup. So it's, and Lowell George famously played a Stratocaster with a Telecaster pickup in the bridge, which is so cool.
What a sound. Man.
What a sound. Yeah, I mean, but he could play a plank of wood with a string on it plugged into a turd, and he would still sound really good.
He did that later on, right?
Yeah. That was No, I can't even make a joke about him. He's my hero.
Yeah.
I love everything he did. I was gonna say, that was his second solo record, which sadly he never made because he passed away, and then I started feeling bad about making a joke. Yeah, so that's kind of what this guitar is, just like not like tipping the hat, a nod to my favorite slide guitar players.
Yeah.
And much to my own disappointment, I sound like none of them when I play this guitar, but I love this guitar. And yeah, it's got lots of vibes and about 100,000 sounds in it. And we messed around with a few, like they have a different tremolo system now. Duesenberg has something that's a little more akin to a Strat tremolo system. So there is a prototype that exists that has that.
Okay. Yeah.
But their sort of like Bigsby style,
Yeah.
I just don't think it can be beat.
No,
It's so good.
I think it's the most stable, maybe one of the most stable trems ever.
I mean, you could, I can't do that with a Bigsby or a Strat.
No.
I just couldn't. So
Okay, out of the 10,000 sounds, maybe can you show us 3?
sure. Probably one of my favorite sounds is, so the switches are, this activates the middle pickup.
Yep.
So the traditional pickup selector is just a 3-way. So neck and bridge, or bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And so any combination of those with this switch will bring in the bridge or middle pickup. So you can have neck and middle, bridge and middle, or all 3.
Yeah.
And then this taps the bridge pickup, which is a cool sound too. But one of my favorite sounds is the bridge and middle. I'll clean it up for a sec so you can kind of hear it a little more clearly. So the tap just sort of skinnies it up a little bit and gives you a little more spank. But so that's one of my favorite sounds. I mean, the sound I use a ton of. Oh, actually, that was all 3 pickups. Whoops. It's just the bridge pickup by itself. And then, of course, the neck pickup is pretty great too.
Really versatile. Cleans up nice as well.
It's probably more versatile in someone else's hands, to be honest. I mean, I just do the same thing over and over and over, but
that's why we love you.
For better or worse. I've said that so many times already on this, but yeah, there's lots of really cool sounds in it.
Maybe the Bonnie Raitt pickup is a nice segue to talk a little bit about your new music coming out, because there's a new record coming out.
That's right.
And I heard that there's also a collaboration with Bonnie Raitt on it, right?
That's right. That's right. She actually sang on 2 songs, but she refused to be credited on the other one, which I think is just a testament to how humble she is and what a wonderful person. But yeah, so she sang background vocals on one, and we were gonna feature her on that, and she said, "But I'm just singing background vocals. You don't have to put my name on it." We're like, "Can we though?"
Yeah, we could use it.
But then there's another song which is actually going to be the next single off the record, which is called Knuckles, and it's a ballad, and we wound up singing it as a duet, which is pretty cool.
How was that working with her? Because I know she did a cover of a Brothers Landreth song before, right?
Yeah,
on one of her own albums.
Mm-hmm. She, on her last record, her lead single off of her last record was a song of ours that she cut, which is
already so cool.
Yeah, I'm still not used to it.
No.
Yeah, it's not something that as a kid I was like, one day Bonnie Raitt's gonna record one of my songs and it's gonna be the lead single off her record. Never ever did I think that. So yeah, it's very cool, and she is legitimately from from a very young age one of my heroes. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, thankfully we didn't have to record it together. Like she did it in California, and
Mhm.
we recorded ours at home in Winnipeg, because I don't think I would have been able to like stand across from her and
No.
sing well. But still, to hear our voices together uh, is a thing that I will cherish until my last moment on this earth. It's
I can
very special.
understand.
Yeah.
Because she was also someone you listened to a lot growing up, maybe?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a ton. Like my three slide guitar heroes are Raitt, Bonnie Raitt, and Lowell George, and that was true long before we met her, long before we could call her a friend. She
Yeah.
I have some of my core memories as a child are listening to songs off of her record Nick of Time. Like it's, I remember being a little kid sitting, my mom would take the coffee table and put it on the couch when she vacuumed the floor, and then I would sit under the floor, and then she would crank music while she cleaned. And often we would listen to Bonnie Raitt records, and like I have a memory of like sitting under the coffee table listening to Bonnie Raitt. So it's like, yeah, it's her music is a huge part of who I am as a musician. Yeah.
Must be quite surreal then meeting her and
Dude, sometimes she calls me on the phone.
really.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
How are you?
hey, good, you? What you doing? Yeah, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You know, it's fun.
Heart racing every time. Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
1000%. Yeah. But like if I'm driving, I pull over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to concentrate.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's just Bonnie Raitt calling me. Whatever.
Yeah. I mean, she's the only, like, I don't get phone calls from my heroes every day. I don't get phone calls from her every day either. But when I do get phone calls from my heroes, it's Bonnie Raitt. What a douchebag. Yeah. No.
So do meet your heroes. They say don't,
Yeah.
but
Oh
do
yeah,
it.
every time. The amount of my heroes that I've had a chance to meet, um, and like I think I don't even think I could say that I was disappointed once. Like maybe somebody was distracted and they weren't able to be as engaged, but I've never been disappointed by meeting.
Can we drop some names? Maybe shame them on this podcast. You don't have to, sorry.
No. No, I mean, I've who have I met? I mean, obviously I met Bonnie. I met Doyle Bramhall. He was so cool and very generous with his time. And I've met Derek Trucks, who was also a big hero of mine and incredibly kind. Uh, yeah, I honestly can't even remember if anybody like the people that weren't super warm. It just doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
You know.
And on the new album with the brothers, did you also use the Revv amp on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't. This wasn't finished yet. So I had sort of what was the prototype, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was on the sessions a ton.
And where is an amp in the creative process for you? Is it some more of a tool? Is it something that you use to write the songs with? Is it something that inspires you? Where does it fit in?
Depends on the amp. Like some amps are like, this is a great vehicle for guitar playing, and sometimes it's like, I have a couple old like National amps, or I've got an old Supro now that are really cool character amps, and they're not that's more like that's gonna get a unique sound.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just depends on the amp, and it depends on the part, depends on the guitar, depends on the song.
Yeah.
Because it could be anything.
So we also have some questions from our viewers and one of our customers.
Great.
The first question that we received is about your slide, your actual slide.
Yeah.
Why do you prefer a brass slide over a glass slide, if you do that?
I just why do I like them better? I just remember that, to be honest, it has more to do with the brand with Rockslide.
Yeah.
And the first time I tried one, which is going back like coming close to 20 years ago now. I was in Nashville and I had a day off. The band I was working for, they were writing, so I went downtown, and when Gruen's Guitars was still on or near Broadway, I can't remember exactly where it was, but I walked in and grabbed one of those slides and put it on and was like, oh wow, this makes a difference.
Yeah.
At that point I was already playing quite a bit of slide, but I was just using whatever, and experimenting with things. But that was the first time that I really connected with the slide. And then I wound up getting in touch with Danny from Rock Slide because I lost mine and there were no dealers anywhere near Winnipeg. Surprise, surprise. So I sent him an email and was like, "Hey, is there any way you would consider selling direct to me because the nearest dealer is 24 hours east or 26 hours west?" And he was like, "Sure, man, I'll send you a box." And then, I tried a bunch of different sizes, and we kind of went around. So I think part of it was just like that moment was kind of um, a core memory in my sort of development as a guitar player.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's
and
more about the ergonomics then, the ergonomics of the Rock Slide.
Yeah, I mean, glass slides always tend to be a little bit thicker, especially the ones that sound good, which I don't like as much. I think I don't know. There's something that feels really good to me about the metal on metal. I mean, the downside is they're a little bit noisier and they can get dented, and so they can, there's certain things. But at the end of the day, I just like this is what I want to put on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's more, for somebody getting into slide, wondering what should I use, you got to find the thing that's most comfortable and makes you want to play, especially with slide guitar because it can be pretty discouraging at the beginning. It's like the only thing worse than a beginner slide guitar player is maybe a beginner violinist. So you got to find something that makes you want to push through the challenging sort of era of playing slide. So whatever works, whichever finger feels the most comfortable. But for me, the Rock Slides are great. They fit really well. And I do like the way they sound.
Okay, great, thanks. And also a question for Derek.
Yep.
Is there something on your wish list to make in the future as Revv Amps? Is one of the questions that came in.
Yeah. So I collect all sorts of amps, and always have, and I'm a huge Marshall fan and modified Marshall fan, and I would love to see what our designer would come up with that lives in that space, because every time I get to play something, like I've got a couple of Friedmans and a bunch of old Marshalls, and I love everything that I've ever played from Dave. So yeah, I would love to see what he could do in that space. Not that we're going to do it anytime soon for anybody who watches this and then sends me an email.
Revv's gonna make a Marshall.
But no, I would
You
love
heard
to
it here
see.
first.
Yeah.
Make it a combo. No,
No,
make it a head.
We're actually gonna do a 200-watt Plexi 412 combo with reverb.
6x12.
Yeah,
We talked about turning the 612 in one.
Either a 612 or an 810.
Yes.
And we're shooting for below 20 kilograms, right?
Yeah. We're gonna
and it's
all
gonna
Neo
be
speakers.
And it's gonna be less than 1,000 euros.
Yeah. That too.
You heard it here first.
Wonderful.
You can place your pre-order right now on the Revv site, right?
Yeah. Just send your money to Joey Landreth at hotmail.com and he'll make sure it gets done.
I cannot be held responsible for promises that my partner Derek makes.
Okay, so something in the Marshall.
Yeah, I
vein.
would love to see what Dan came up with that, because we did our chat breaker pedal, which was like we used ChatGPT to try to design a pedal. It failed horribly at it. It didn't work. But what it did do is it gave gave Dan a different starting point, because he's not a Marshall guy at all. And he figured out that it's a blues breaker circuit. That's why we called it chat breaker. So he kind of filled in all of the missing holes in the circuit. And then I remember asking him, I'm like, so did it work? He's like, no, not at all. And then he's like, I can fix it though to make it work. So then he made it work and he breadboarded. I'm like, so how did it sound? And he's like shit. He's like, I can make it sound cool. I'm like, okay, let's do that. And then he brought in the chat breaker, and he found it very interesting too, because it was a starting point that he would not have started at all. So yeah, I bug him about it every now and then, but we have lots of design projects on the go. So it's kind of hard to find a way to fit in, especially when it's not something that he's super passionate about, because he's not a Marshall guy, to be like, hey man, could you dedicate the next year to making this thing?
A 200-watt
Yeah.
Plexi combo.
Yeah, exactly. Can you make our version of the Marshall Major, but in a combo?
I think it will really work.
Yeah.
It also comes with a Volkswagen Bug with no back seats. So that
I thought we were
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
send them this car behind us with it.
That'd be okay.
Yeah, be all right.
Yeah.
You can make it work. Then,
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You have to pick it up though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Can we maybe also talk a little bit about your
Yeah.
Duesenberg? Because you're also playing a Duesenberg. It's a star player.
Yeah, so I just got this at the Guitar Summit this year. Andre over at Duesenberg reached out and was looking to get one of Joey's amps, and I said, you know what I would love is one of your guitars. So maybe we can do some trading. And I've always loved the Star Player. For a long time, there were no Duesenberg dealers in Winnipeg. I think Long and McQuaid may carry them now. I think, but I could be wrong.
Didn't Quest carry them?
Maybe.
Somebody carried them because
Yeah.
I remember Steve Klotz had a bunch from SFM. He had, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
So I had
completely irrelevant
yeah.
to our Dutch
Yes.
viewers.
I had played a few of them, and I was always kind of intrigued because I really liked the fact that like if I turn some gain on, I mean, this is a hollow body, and it's not woofing at all.
Nowhere near. No.
It's buzzy on the 90, like on the P90, but
Also has to do with our building.
yeah. But yeah, they sound great. I'm really picky about necks because I'm not a great guitar player, so I want everything to be as comfortable as possible. And Joey and I go back and forth about this all the time because he does not give a rat's ass how the neck is, as long as the guitar is cool. But Duesenberg is another one of those companies where I feel like their painted necks are very smooth, and I don't feel like my hand ever sticks.
Yeah.
So that's, Paul Reed Smiths are like that for me. Gibsons are the worst for it, like where I feel like it's just, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You fight it as soon as you start sweating at all. So yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it besides the fact that P90 sounds great, the humbucker sounds great, and this bridge is fantastic.
It's the best, yeah.
Yeah. So
Everything about a Duesenberg feels stable to me every time I play one.
Yeah.
Everything feels in control and stable.
Super consistent.
Yeah.
Like you pick one up in the store, you pick up the exact same guitar at a completely different store.
Yeah.
It is going to be within 5% of that other one, if not less.
Yeah.
They're just so well made, and they're really great guys.
I'm also a huge sucker for sparkle finishes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love sparkle finishes on anything. So this is
Yeah.
yeah. This is awesome.
They look great. And now that we're talking about Gibson and how you hate them,
yeah.
I brought two vintage electrics from our vault because we do a lot of boutique and vintage guitars here over at the Fellowship. I thought maybe it would be nice to hear one or two of them through the new amps.
Yeah.
So if you want to try one,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
May I have that 345?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
I'm glad you asked for that one because I definitely want the other one.
And it's so nice of the Fellowship Acoustics to let us take these guitars home.
Yes. Wonderful parting gifts.
Just such great guys here.
Yeah.
Because you're so nice as well, we thought we could give you a gift.
That's
take
so
home.
kind.
All right. So full disclosure, as soon as I saw this sitting on the stand here when we got here, I was like, that's a 52 Les Paul, isn't it? And
It is.
yes. So first year they made the Les Paul, right?
That's right.
Is it? Do you know how many of them were made?
I don't know specifically. No, not a lot. There were also the 52 is not the most popular
Nope.
of the of the Les Pauls, of the earlier Les Pauls. Mostly to do with the bridge that's on here.
Yeah.
You've already seen it probably, but it's a Revv under bridge.
Yeah, it
Um,
looks cool.
It looks cool.
Feels horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's sort of out of phase in the middle position of this one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is nice.
It's. So, can I tell my story about it?
Sure,
So,
please.
when I was 18 years old, I grew up in a very small town, about 2,500 people. And I worked in a kind of a guitar store / music school. And one day, this old man walked in carrying a Gibson chainsaw guitar case, saying that he needed to get his guitar restrung. And when he opened up the case, I saw this. Like, I saw this bridge, and I knew nothing about vintage guitars at the time, just that they're old. So
Yeah.
I immediately said, I'm like, okay. I said, well, there's obviously a story to this, and I hope that you're going to tell me what it is. And I said, what year is that? And he said, I bought that guitar brand new in 1952.
It's unbelievable.
Yep. And his name was Clifford Gibson. And he had me, which is also cool.
That's all a joke.
Right? Nope. And he got me to restring the guitar. The owner of the store was a teacher at the high school. So I called him on lunch break and said, hey, man, you got to get over here right away and see this Les Paul that came in here. I said, it's from the 50s. And he's like, I'll be right there. So he grabbed another teacher. They came over and they were like, where is it? I'm like, I put it in the back so that no one knows. And immediately they were wanting to buy it. And I said, like, I already tried. Like I asked Clifford if he wanted to sell it. And he said, no. But when Clifford left, he had said, like, restring it and I'll come get it tomorrow. And I said, okay. So I restrung it for him. And the next day I called him and said, hey, Clifford, your guitar's ready. Of course, we all played it the whole day. And I took it home at night because I was terrified to leave it in the store. Yeah. And
Sure.
Yeah, that's why.
Took it home at night, slept with it in my bed.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to keep it safe.
Yeah.
And every day for, I think it was a month and a half, I would call him and say, Mr. Gibson, I have your guitar ready. And he said, oh, you know what? I don't know if I'm going out again today. I'll come by tomorrow and I'll get it. And then finally, after about a month and a half, I said, like, Mr. Gibson, I'll happily deliver it to your house. There's no charge for the setup and restring and that. I'm like, thank you very much for letting me play it. I'm like, but one of two things has to happen. Either I'm bringing it back or you're going to let me buy it.
Yeah.
I'm like, because we can't replace it if it gets stolen. And I'm nervous about keeping it. I said, I take it home every night. And when I brought it back to him, he said, thank you very much. I'm just happy that somebody could play it. Because he was at the point in his life, he was 82 years old and he couldn't play anymore, but he just wanted to make sure that it was in decent shape. And I tried again to buy it and no luck for me. But so if Clifford Gibson's son is watching and still is in possession of your dad's guitar.
There is a chainsaw case somewhere in the house.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to speak to you about your dad's guitar, but
They are incredible. The early gold tops,
unfortunately,
especially
they're not
the
that
90s.
valuable. So it's not really. It's a more.
You could trade a Revv
I was
amp.
gonna
Right?
say I got a cool $500 for you if you're looking to get rid of one. Bag of the one that he had the headstock broken off in the 70s.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. This was in 1998. So it wasn't that valuable. It was like probably around 5,000. Like in Canadian dollars, it was $5,000 back then was the going rate. But now they're probably, I don't know, even
through
with
the roof. Yeah.
20,000+ with the broken headstock. So
yeah.
But what do you have?
I don't know, but I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the bridge pickup is toast. Maybe.
I think maybe there's a story about this because it was made as a stereo guitar. So I'm not really sure if this is still still needs a stereo cable to work. That could be.
Like for your patch?
I thought that it was converted to a mono, but maybe it isn't.
No, it's the silent.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah, we'll flip it around. Yeah, so it still has the TRS jack inside. Oops. Tune. Hey. Out of fate. I love it. Oh, I guess. super usable, that
Yeah,
sound.
yeah. That will cut through a mix, right?
Yeah. Love other people at Gibson in whatever year this was. They're like 1960. Hey,
The
check
people
this
will
sound
need
out. Do you want it to sound super weird and nobody will be able to hear you? Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
sound. Maybe it's if it's like. Maybe it's different if you're plugged into the stereo thing.
Maybe.
Probably
I don't
not.
No.
But it sounds like the guitar
Oh, it
sounds
sounds
awesome.
The
Yeah.
Duesenberg was quite hot. Also compared to the Duesenberg, it was really fiery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah, I've always wanted one of these, like, yeah, so if anybody has like a player grade 335 they want to give away, I know a guy. Yeah, thanks for letting us play these.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Sounds amazing.
Yeah, what a guitar.
PAFs still sound really great.
Yeah.
I think the gold top, I'm just really such a fan of the gold top. There was one
Yeah.
56 gold top that I once came through the store that I played, and it's still my favorite guitar I've ever played. It's just something, I played it acoustically, didn't even plug it in, and it was just, I had tears in my eyes just
Yeah.
playing it.
The last year I was at Guitar Point in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And they had a 56 gold top that was unbelievable. Oh, this neck is so nice.
You like that?
It
It's a
gets
little
neck.
thin. I was like, it's neck.
Oh,
I don't know, I like it. Like, I like the out of phase
Yeah,
weirdness.
Sounds mean, hey? Like,
that neck pickup is so sweet. Oh, and it has the huge knobs too.
yeah.
The oversized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. And the green coming through, the oxidized gold finish is just, man, it looks incredible.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys for coming to the fellowship.
Oh.
It was great to chat with you, and that
Thanks
you
for
wanted to
having us.
show your beautiful amps
Thank
and
you.
also the Duesenberg guitars.
yeah.
It was a real pleasure. I urge everyone out there to go and check out the Revv Amps, the Duesenberg
Thank you.
guitars. Thank you very much. Maybe you can
Yeah.
play us out with a little jam
Oh,
if
shoot.
you want to.
I just turned this off, but yes.
Oh, sorry.
That's fun.